Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. Is your LG washer showing that IE error code and refusing to fill with water? Don't panic. I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. The best part, most of these solutions are simple and won't break the bank. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common culprit I see is actually pretty basic. Your water faucets behind the washer aren't fully open, or those fill hoses are kinked up. You'll know this is your problem when the washer fills really slowly or barely at all before throwing that IE code. I had this customer last month call me in a panic, thought her washer was dead. Turns out someone had bumped the hot water valve and it was only cracked open. Here's what you do: pull that washer away from the wall and take a look at those faucets. Both hot and cold need to be turned fully counterclockwise. While you're back there, check those hoses for any sharp bends or pinches. Sometimes those flood-safe hoses can actually restrict flow too much and cause this exact problem. If the hoses look old or damaged, swap them out. They're only about 15 to 45 bucks and way cheaper than a service call. These little mesh screens inside your water inlet ports are magnets for rust, minerals, and all kinds of junk from your water supply. When they get clogged up, water can barely trickle through and boom, i.e. error. You'll spot this by disconnecting those water hoses from the back of the washer and looking inside the connection ports for those tiny screens. Some models have a plastic screen and then a metal one behind it. Safety first. Always unplug your washer and turn off both water supply valves before disconnecting any hoses. Grab a towel and maybe a small bucket because you'll get water spillage when you disconnect the hoses. Use needle nose pliers to carefully pull those screens out, then scrub them clean with an old toothbrush. Rinse thoroughly and pop them back in. These screens cost maybe 5 to 15 bucks to replace if they're too far gone, but most of the time a good cleaning does the trick. Here's one that trips up a lot of people. If that drain hose is shoved too far down into your wall standpipe, it creates a siphon effect. Basically, water gets sucked back out as fast as it's filling in. The washer thinks it's not filling and throws the IE code. You'll figure this out by checking where that drain hose enters your wall drain or laundry tub. If it's pushed in more than about 4 inches, that's your problem right there. Just pull it out so it's only inserted about 4 inches deep. You need that air gap to break the siphon. Make sure the connection isn't sealed airtight either. Cost you exactly $0 and takes about 30 seconds to fix. The water inlet valve is that electrically controlled gatekeeper that lets water into your machine. When it goes bad, usually from mineral buildup in hard water areas, it might not open at all, or the solenoids get jammed. Here's how you'll know. When a cycle starts, listen for that distinct click sound as the valve opens. No click, red flag. For a more definitive test, grab a multimeter and check the valve's coil resistance. Should read between 500 and 1500 ohms. To replace it, you'll need to unplug the washer, shut off water, remove the top panel, and swap out the valve assembly. It's mounted right where those hoses connect. You're looking at about 20 to 135 bucks for the part, and it's a moderate DIY job if you're handy with basic tools. The pressure switch is your washer's water level sensor. It uses air pressure in a connected tube to figure out how much water's in the tub. When it fails or that thin rubber tube gets detached or clogged, the washer can't tell if it's filling properly. I remember this one repair where another tech had serviced the machine and forgot to reconnect that vacuum tube. Customer was getting IE errors constantly until we spotted the loose connection. You can spot this by looking for that thin rubber hose that should be connected to a round switch component. If it's loose, just reconnect it. If you suspect a blockage, disconnect the tube and blow through it to clear any debris. The switch itself runs about 15 to 61 bucks if it needs replacing, but often it's just that tube connection. This is the expensive one, and thankfully it's pretty rare. When the main control board goes bad, you'll usually hear the drain pump running constantly, even during the fill cycle. What happens is a relay gets stuck and sends continuous power to the drain pump, so it's draining water as fast as it fills. Sometimes excessive vibration can trigger this. A stuck relay can sometimes be temporarily fixed by tapping on it, but the real fix is replacing the entire control board. That's going to run you anywhere from 150 to almost 500 bucks. Plus, it's complex enough that you might want to call someone like me. Before you go that route, though, try unplugging the unit for a few minutes to do a hard reset. Sometimes that clears temporary glitches. All right, so the IE code basically means inlet error. Your washer's telling you it's not getting enough water fast enough. I'll walk you through the six most common causes, starting with quick 2-minute checks that solve 70% of these problems, then moving to repairs that might take 15 and 30 minutes. Trust me, after fixing hundreds of these things, I've learned to always start with the easiest fixes first. Since we covered the inlet valve symptoms earlier, let's focus on replacement costs and testing. Use a multimeter to check the solenoid coils. They should read between 500 and 1500 ohms. If they're outside this range, you'll need a replacement. Parts run about 20 to 135 bucks depending on your model. Here's the thing though. Make sure you check those inlet filter screens first, because a clogged screen can make a perfectly good valve look bad. I've seen too many people replace a valve when all they needed was a $5 screen cleaning. This little guy senses your water level by monitoring air pressure in a connected tube. When it's acting up, your washer might display IE even though it seems to be filling fine, or it might fill with just a tiny bit of water and stop. Parts typically run 15 to 61 bucks. Before you replace it though, check that thin air tube connection. 9 times out of 10, it's just come loose or got clogged with lint. You can test the tube by disconnecting it and blowing through it. If it's clear and connected properly but you're still getting issues, then yeah, the switch itself probably needs replacing. The control board is basically the brain of your washer. It manages everything from filling to spinning. When it goes bad, you'll usually know because that drain pump keeps running even during fill cycles. This is definitely the most expensive fix at 150 to almost 500 bucks for the part. Here's my advice. This should be your absolute last resort after you've checked everything else. Try a hard reset first. Unplug the machine for several minutes. Sometimes a stuck relay will clear itself, at least temporarily. If you're not comfortable working with electrical components, this is definitely where you call a pro. Now, you can see on the screen right now the most common models that tend to have these issues. Maybe you'll spot your own washer up there. The front loaders especially seem to have problems with kinked hoses since they're often squeezed into tight spaces. Don't worry about memorizing all those model numbers. Just check if yours is among the ones displayed. So there you have it. That's how you tackle the LGIE error code. Remember, start with the simple stuff like checking your water faucets and cleaning those inlet screens before you start replacing expensive parts. Most of the time, it's something basic that takes just a few minutes to fix. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this video saved you a service call, hit that like button and comment below with which solution worked for you. Was it the simple water valve fix or something more complex? Your experience helps other viewers know where to start troubleshooting. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.